What is going on, guys? DBG here. In this video we are going to be talking about the top 10 cards that I really want to see in NBA 2K19 MyTEAM. So basically there are 9 of these 10 players we haven't seen at all in MyTEAM, and then there's one card that I just really want to see in MyTEAM this year. And more so than that one card is just kind of frustration, because there's a few cards that are like this, and I just really want to see that not happen next year in NBA 2K19 MyTEAM. So if you guys have any suggestions, leave in the comments. If this video does well, I will do a part 2. So anyway, yep, now let's get on to the 10 players. So anyway, first of all is a card that obviously there will be one of these in the game, but I'm going to just say a Shaq that you can buy in the auction house. I don't care what version of Shaq it is. And also, the reason why I'm saying this is because, not necessarily for Shaq specifically, but there was a good few cards this year that you just couldn't buy in the auction house. There was cards that just, every version of them was some version of a reward card. Off the top of my head, obviously I know Shaq because I've been trying to use him for squad builders. Bill Russell also was unavailable in any version except for 2 reward cards. So I really hope they don't do that next year. I really hope that there is no stage where there's a card that's just unavailable in the auction house. Obviously there's cards that are extinct, there's cards that are rare, but I mean cards that just no matter what can't be purchased in the auction house, because that's just really frustrating. Especially if you're like me and you wanted to use Shaq, but the All-Star set was too expensive to complete, and you started playing on a certain system past the date of the challenge and the pre-order. So anyway, yeah, that's just my opinion, and hopefully there's no cards like that next year. It shouldn't be anyway, with LeBron James and Giannis being cover athletes and current players, but you just never know. Next, we have got a guy who was 6th man of the year a couple of years ago, actually over 10 years ago now. That is crazy how quickly time's going, but it's Ben Gordon. So Ben Gordon was quick, Ben Gordon could shoot. Ben Gordon was one of the best scorers in the league off the bench. Ben Gordon was one of the best players in the Bulls team in 2008-2009 when they nearly beat the Celtics. But Ben Gordon's career really went downhill towards kind of the end of his stint with the Bulls, and then when he left the Bulls for the Pistons, it really went downhill. But I still think we should definitely see some version of a Ben Gordon card. Obviously there's a reason we haven't seen him so far, because we did see Ben Gordon in 2K16, but at the same time he was still a current NBA player in 2K16. We haven't seen him since that game. But Ben Gordon, again, a really fun player he will be to use. He wasn't particularly tall, but will be a great shooter. Especially if they release him early in the game. He'll be a great shooter, he'll have great handles, he normally has a good enough release, and he might be a Jamal Crawford type player in the game. Next, we have got one that could be insane, or could be terrible, depending on how 2K can make him. And also, it's a really kind of weird one, and I doubt that 2K are going to put him in the game. But I'm just going to say that I really want to see Skip to Malone in this game. I really want to see RAFER ALSTON. Basically one of the first guys that really popularized street ball. Well, the first time one mixtape is known as the Skip tape. That's how big of an influence he had on street ball back in the early 2000s and late 90s. But RAFER ALSTON was a really good NBA player as well, especially with the Orlando Magic, where he was their starting point guard when they made the NBA Finals. Obviously, Jameer Nelson was a starting point guard, but for most of the playoffs, Nelson was injured and RAFER ALSTON was their point guard. He was also the point guard for the Houston Rockets team that really underperformed in the playoffs. One of the best regular season teams for years. Houston Rockets team with Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady. I don't think who else they had. They had Luis Scola. They had Ron Artest. That was a really nice team. But this card could be absolutely insane. He's gonna get 99 ball control. But if they can give him glitchy dribble moves, they could even make him do some of the street ball things. And even if they don't release him in normal team, they only release him in MyTEAM, which is slightly more arcadey mode, and then they gave him street ball moves there, wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. But I just really would be kind of intrigued to see what they do with RAFER ALSTON. I'd love to see him in the game. Next, we've got a card that I'm actually shocked hasn't been in the game this year, because he's been in the game every other year, and it's Nate Robinson. So last year we saw a Sapphire and an Amethyst Nate Robinson, and Nate Robinson is just such a fun card to use. He's going to have like 100 dunk tendencies, like 99 driving dunk, like almost 99 speed. Even though he is going to be really undersized, he's still going to shoot really well, dunk really well. And it's always fun to jam it on somebody with a guy that's 6 foot tall. Like, it genuinely is hilarious. Like, I remember when I used to use D Brown, he dunked on everybody. When I used Darrell Armstrong, there's something strangely satisfying about dunking on somebody in game with someone that's that small. And Nate Robinson's always a fun card to use. Not an effective card. Straight up, if you're running through a 5'9" guy, it's not going to be effective. But he was such a fun card to use, and a card that I definitely want to see in NBA 2K19 MyTEAM. Next, we have got Moses Malone. So Moses Malone was last seen in NBA 2K16, and he hasn't been seen in an NBA 2K game since. So Moses Malone, I don't know what they're going to do to him, but basically from like 2K14, 2K15, he was basically just the poor man's Hakeem. Obviously Moses Malone, completely different player, was one of the best big men of all time, a finals MVP, but I'm just specifically talking about in-game, and he used to play exactly like Hakeem Olajuwon did in previous 2K games, and if they could make a Moses Malone play like that, it would be great. Like, obviously, they need to give him a 3-ball, but I don't think 2K have any problem just randomly giving centers 3 balls in this game. But he's going to have a nice post game if they manage to fix that. He's going to be a good defender, great rebounder, and could be a really fun card to use if they have add him into the game. But I don't know, since he hasn't been in the game since 2K16 and he was in every game before that, I highly doubt he's going to be in the game this year. And next we have got RASHEED Wallace. I'm not entirely sure about why RASHEED Wallace hasn't been in the game the last couple of years, but obviously his Trailblazers team were added into the game, he wasn't in it. The Detroit Pistons, the Bad Boys 2.0, the 2004 Pistons were in the game, RASHEED Wallace wasn't in it. But he could be a really fun card in my team, because RASHEED Wallace is going to be able to do a little bit of everything. He's going to be able to defend, he's going to be able to rebound, he's going to be able to shoot from mid, he's going to be able to shoot from 3, he's going to be tall, he's going to be strong, he's not going to be too slow. So RASHEED Wallace is going to be able to do a bit of everything. And to be honest, at the start of the game especially, DIAM cards could be really needed. So it's a card that I definitely think that if they do add into the game, he could be really effective. And a card that a lot of people use. Because if he has a good release and a good 3-ball, and with his height and ability to just, well, be RASHEED Wallace, play like RASHEED Wallace in real life, he could be a really effective player. Because his game definitely translates to 2K really well. And it's a card that I really hope we see in the next year. But again, probably won't. Next up, we have got Lamar Odom. This card could be like Ben Simmons with a jump shot in game. Straight up. Lamar Odom is one of the best ball handling big men ever, to be honest. And Lamar Odom could shoot. He was basically Ben Simmons with a jump shot. Like, he never really fulfilled his potential. He could have been a lot better than he was. But at the same time, he was a 6th man of the year. He was nearly an all-star, a 2-time champion. Lamar Odom was an incredible player. But in game, of all these cards, he's the player whose game suits playing 2K the most. You're going to have a 6'10", small forward, power forward, probably going to be able to speed boost, who's going to have a jump shot, who's going to be able to defend a little bit, he's going to be long, and that card could honestly be used at the point guard position. You could end up seeing a Lamar Odom use the point guard. And this is a card that I wouldn't be surprised if we see it in the game next year, because there are rumors of Lamar Odom actually coming back to professional basketball, which is crazy. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the game next year, and if he is, that could be just a game-breaking card in NBA 2K19 MyTEAM. And the next 3 are the cards that basically everyone asks for in these videos. Obviously, I'm not going to put Charles Barkley in because I think he's just after saying he will never be in another NBA 2K game. But yeah, so the last 3, first of all, is Gilbert Arenas. So Gilbert Arenas, back in the mid-2000s, one of the best scorers in the NBA. In my opinion, was highly overrated by the people that think he was like one of the elite players in 2000s. But for a year or 2 stretch, he was like arguably the best scorer in basketball. Gilbert Arenas is a card that could be really good in game. He'd be able to dunk, he'd be able to shoot. Unfortunately, again, as a point guard, a lot of the time there's just no need for actual point guards in this game, which is kind of sad with 2K. But it'd be a really fun card to use. And he's one of the players that when people make custom rosters, people do My League custom rosters, he's one of the first players that everyone picks up, just because Gilbert Arenas is always so fun to use. Next, we have got Reggie Miller. So a lot of people say that Reggie Miller is their most wanted player because he's going to be an insane shooter. And to be honest, depending on what time they release Reggie Miller in the year, that could be the case or it mightn't be the case. So yes, if Reggie Miller is in the game, he is going to be a great shooter. But like, have you seen my team now? Nearly everyone has a 95+3 that they're releasing. So I don't think Reggie Miller is really the card that a lot of people expect. But again, it's going to be really fun if we do see him. It's highly unlikely that we see Reggie Miller. Again, because there has to be a reason why he hasn't been in the game all these years. But a card that definitely I want to see, and it's a card that definitely a lot of people want to see. Especially because we've never really got to experience Reggie Miller in an NBA game. I think, was it NBA Playgrounds? Did we see Reggie Miller in that game? As far as I remember, we did. And I was like, if we can get him in NBA Playgrounds, and 2K have the publishing rights to Playgrounds. Who knows? We may see Reggie Miller in NBA 2K19, but it is unlikely. And last up is Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy was one of my favorite players growing up, and it's just unfortunate that his career was kind of derailed by injuries. Imagine how good a big three of Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, and what's his name, Greg Oden would have been had Brandon Roy and Greg Oden stayed healthy. Because Oden, when he was healthy at the start of his career, looked like he could have been great. But Brandon Roy, he's going to be able to shoot, he's going to be able to dunk, he's going to be able to dribble. He could do everything on the offensive end of the floor, and was incredibly clutch. Picked up his game in the playoffs, and a card that I really want to see. I don't even know why we haven't seen Brandon Roy, to be honest. We haven't seen Brandon Roy since 2K13 when he had his gold card with the Timberwolves, and that's the only time we've ever seen Brandon Roy in NBA 2K MyTEAM. So hopefully we can see a Brandon Roy this year, because that would be absolutely insane. Like, it would be unreal to see a Brandon Roy in 2K19, a card that could be really good. So anyway, that's the video. Of all these cards, the ones that I really want is obviously not exact specifically Shaq, but I really want there to be no cards that you can't buy in the auction house, any version of them. I'd love it if they can make a street ball skip to Myloo. And then of all the other cards, I think that in-game Lamar Odom, if they can manage to get Lamar Odom in-game, would definitely be a game-breaking card, and a card that everyone will want to use. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.